Today we are exploring the FRS.1 Sea Harrier, the single greatest plane ever built, apart from the Spitfire. The Harrier jump jet was made famous for its role in the glorious liberation of Her Majesty's sovereign British territory of the Falkland Islands. Sorry, His Majesty's sovereign territory. I forgot, the Prince of Wales is king now. Hello, I am a Uliope, and I like to hop into top-tier matches in War Thunder, and then personally kill the entire enemy team by myself. Welcome to my channel.
And cue the normal music and familiar voice. Don't worry, I wasn't gonna make you listen to Rule Britannia for the whole video. Anyways, fun fact, did you know you can use thrust vectoring to hover upside down in War Thunder? Which is not how thrust vectoring works, but you can do it in the game. It's dumb, but you can do it. There's no reason to know this. Hey, sorry about that intro. Willie Waller was impersonating me again. Just to be clear, his arguably biased views of the Falklands War / Guerrero de Malvinas are not necessarily my own. I had absolutely no involvement in that intro apart from making the animation, writing the script, coming up with the idea, and then finding a British guy to read what I wrote in his most insufferable accent. And then, of course, putting it on YouTube. Man, the comments on this video are gonna be such a dumpster fire. If you missed one of the jokes in the intro, don't worry, someone in the comments will help you with that. This is the FRS.1 Sea Harrier. This is the rank 7 British squadron plane, and it is very similar to the AV-8B NA Premium that will be added to the American tech tree with the next update in like 2 weeks. Okay, well, one to 2 weeks. In addition to those two tech trees, there is a top-tier Harrier with AMRAAMs in the Italian subtree, and there will be Harriers in the Japanese tech tree as well if we ever get that Thai subtree that we're, supposedly supposed to be getting sooner or later. So I figured I'd kill two birds with one stone and explain how to fly this thing while sending an entire lobby to the bottom of the ocean, which is what the Harrier was designed to do. So in-game, the Harrier's big, key, massive advantage is its speed. This thing is speed. It is blistering fast, and you are probably really confused because this plane is a subsonic brick, right? Yeah, so the top speed on this thing is really low. It's high subsonic, but, and this is really important, it can go high subsonic and stay there. In arcade, the acceleration of most top tier planes is nerfed due to the afterburner cap. However, the Harrier doesn't have an afterburner, but it still gets WEP, which all planes in arcade get, which means its already good acceleration is hugely buffed. So it can get to a pretty high speed and then stay there a lot easier than any of the jets in this battle rating, especially in a fight, and if it ever loses its speed, it's really easy to get it back. This thing has amazing speed in practice. Like, it's not going to win a straight up race, but if you're actually trying to do stuff, it has a very high speed in practice. This also means that if you have a basic understanding of how to fly this plane, it's actually quite forgiving. As for how to fly this thing in a fight, yes, so it does kind of turn like a brick, this is true, but it's good enough at turning that if you understand map positioning and energy fighting, oh good lord, this thing is a real monster. And you can be such a slippery bastard with this thing, and that will never not be fun. Basically, if anyone is chasing you, you are maneuverable enough to dodge them and hold your energy well enough to control the fight, even if you can't outrate them. So if you and another guy are jumping around even a little bit, this thing will be faster even if his top speed is higher. But I'm not going to be able to show you how to fight like that because my plane just got critically hit and I can no longer steer it well. And this problem is compounded by the fact that I am currently in a full up tier. So instead I'm going to show you how to use the Harrier's other strengths to massacre a full up tier while having serious control difficulties. Did I mention I really like this plane? Because I grounded out like all of rank 6 Britain backwards with this thing. It's awesome. I went ahead and slapped a talisman on this thing and also like unlocked the plane permanently. I really like it. Okay, so how am I gonna play this game? Well, there are three key advantages to consider here. First, the enemy player didn't get my engine. I can still go really fast, I just have the turning radius of a mid-sized oil tanker. I definitely rather have my maneuverability be screwed than my speed be screwed. Having it the other way around, I couldn't work with that. But speed I can work with. The second thing is that this is a really small map. This island map is sort of like the Nuketown of War Thunder. It's the area the players actually fight in is actually very, very small. And third, I have AIM-9Ls. And AIM-9Ls are perfect for this exact situation, as demonstrated by that triple kill you just saw. I can bring these three considerations together to cheese this match. So the first tranche of all-aspect infrared missiles that you'll encounter in War Thunder, the AIM-9Ls, the R-60Ms, the Python 3s, Magic 2s, out of all of those four, The AIM-9L is the worst overall, and that's because it doesn't turn well right after it's fired. One of the strongest use cases for an early all-aspect infrared missile is to dunk that thing into someone's face before they have the chance to flare. Just straight up point-blanking people. The AIM-9L cannot do that reliably, so it actually has trouble point-blanking people who don't have flares, because it actually is so bad at turning early on that someone who doesn't have flares can easily out-turn it. Those other 3 missiles will absolutely kill them. Speaking of turning, my god, look at me try to turn this freaking Harrier around. I think I was steering with the wrong side. The other side was way less damaged. However, the AIM-9L does get a trade-off. It's just a trade-off that is usually not worth it. And that trade-off is that the AIM-9L does have just about the longest range of all of these missiles, and it's very hard to flare from the rear aspect. That's the other advantage. The AIM-9L does not have IRCCM, it just has a really good normal seeker, which can sometimes be hard to tell apart from IRCCM in practice. Now, this matters because on most maps there are de facto safe zones, particularly in arcade. If I am in front of my own team's spawn, it is very easy to set up an attacker to be killed by one or more of my teammates. You know, War Thunder players see the easy kill, War Thunder players collect the easy kill. It's like throwing a french fry in front of a flock of seagulls. Due to this map's small size, players tend to be so heavily concentrated around their spawns that there are an awful lot of seagulls I can rely on if I operate there. Also, I'm not going to be using the gun much in this video because I'm going to be relying on the missiles because my airplane's damaged. But the cannon is really good, I love it, and if you want to make a bunch of gun kills with a jet, this is one of the jets you should be flying. And again, since this map is so small, my AIM-9Ls, due to their range, will cover most of the distance from the friendly furball I can take cover in to the center of the map where, you know, there might be a lot of enemy players. And since my plane is still very fast, my plan is to fly around at high speed, outrunning people's turns and just sort of hoodwink them. And then I should be able to use every ounce of maneuverability I have left, not that there is much, to get back to, you know, the friendly furball before anyone can pin me down. So I can basically fly this route over and over again until the enemy team starts to thin out because I thinned them out, and everyone starts pushing towards their spawn over here. And I'm only able to do that because I don't have a lot of distance that I need to cover because this is a small map and I have relatively long-range weapons. And also because I have plenty of meat shields I can use, and if any enemy players try to follow me as I escape, well, French fry meat seagull. You know, there's not a whole lot I can do to stop them directly, but I mean, that French fry is going to disappear real quick if you put it in the right spot. The other thing I can do, as this team slowly gets snowballed, is to snipe all of the players who start spawning in planes that don't have flares. This will cause my teammates to focus the players that do have flares and kill them for me because they're the only targets left. You know, you're kicking out the supports. You know, you're doing the equivalent of blowing up the supply trucks carrying gas, not blowing up the tanks. Rather annoyingly, as you may have noticed, however, the enemy team has the sun on their side, so there are parts of the map where I can't actually get a shot at them because my missile will just fly into the sun. Imagine having the stars literally align and then still getting wiped out by a critically damaged Sea Harrier. Next time you get a chance, look how badly I'm smoking. Those poor guys probably thought they had stopped me. They were wrong. But yes, this is an important thing to remember if you ever get into like the strategy of this game, which is that you can get people killed without personally killing them or like directly setting them up. Like, it's very easy to influence players in this game into doing your bidding. I mean, they're honestly, like, War Thunder players are really, really predictable, and that makes my job really, really easy. Or, I mean, not my job, but my hobby of wiping entire teams and putting it on YouTube. Now, I guess I really should mention the hover mode on this thing. So, yeah, you don't really use it in, like, combat, because it breaks your speed and turns you into a sitting duck. I played this plane quite a bit. I only used it 3 times, and I mean, it worked. It did save me those 3 times, but it was very situational. Basically, the times that it worked, the times where it was actually useful, were when I was about to get pounced on by an F-104 I didn't see until it was kind of too late, and I could turn on hover mode to throw off his aim and then get around fast enough to set him up for a missile shot. The reason it doesn't work most of the time is you need your speed and maneuverability combined. You need a combination of these 2 things to survive and fight most players. You must find balance in the attributes. No wonder people are really bad at flying this thing. You don't need that for an F-104 because it sucks at turning far, far more than the Harrier does. so you don't need to rely on a combination to fight an F-104. It's so bad at turning you can just bet all of your cards on maneuverability. You don't need to worry about speed. It's gonna win a straight up speed fight anyways. Now I should quickly talk about the history of the Harrier, I guess. So as my obnoxious introduction explained, the Harrier became famous serving with the British forces during the Falklands War, where it effectively seal clubbed the Argentine Air Force using AIM-9Ls, just like, you know, in-game. It was a bit of a real-life up tier. Now, if you're unfamiliar with that particular war, the TLDR is that there was this tin pot dictator named Galtieri who ran Argentina, and he decided to challenge Margaret Thatcher to a dick measuring contest, and then 900 people died. It was really tragic. Oh, and by the way, he lost. And ever since then, Britain has celebrated the fact that it managed to defeat Argentina on its third try. Argentina and Britain remain rivals, and they compete on multiple fronts such as sports, diplomacy, and whose government can ruin the national economy more thoroughly. Argentines will fondly remember Maradona scoring twice on the British the World Cup, and the British will fondly remember their submarine scoring twice on the Belgrano. If you're unfamiliar, the Belgrano is like this whole thing. So basically what happened was Argentina started a war with Britain, and then Britain sank one of Argentina's warships. That was the Belgrano. And then Argentina got upset and decided that was illegal, and like tried to make a whole thing out of it. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I never really understood what the argument here was. Like, if you're at war, you're allowed to sink the other guy's warships, right? Is there something in the Geneva Conventions that says you're not supposed to do that? Honestly, the argument makes about as much sense as two countries fighting over a tiny sub-Antarctic archipelago that is best known for being fought over. In addition to the British, the Americans manufactured their own variant of the Sea Harrier that was used by the Marine Corps, and it was notorious for crashing and killing its pilots. Like, over and over and over again. Like, it killed so many Marines, you would think it was the V-22 Osprey. I mean, Jesus Christ. So, anyways, let's get back to this match. And as you can see, my teammates have begun commenting on all the damage I'm doing with this plane. I appear to have some fans of this match who appreciate seeing a team hunt live. And to Bob the Nog, hi Bob. I actually have started playing the Thai F5E FCU recently. It's a lot of fun, but the F14A spam means I always get pulled into up tiers when no one respawns, so I just run out of targets whenever I get to like the mid-teens. I'm sure I can do better with in the future when like the F14A spam kind of dies down. In the meantime, yes, you do actually kind of want to fly that plane like an A5C. You also want to fly it like the JH7A, which I will make a video about in the near future. Similar tactics and strategies work for all three planes. I was originally planning to use this video as the bonus footage that I link in the description of the main video, because I kind of prefer to show you how to fly a plane that is, you know, airworthy, that's a little more educational value. But I was flying this thing around the same time as that really overpowered Belgian F-16A, so my 90 kill streak video folder got really bloated, and I wound up accidentally deleting the 23 kill Harrier game I had, although I had to switch to the FRS.1E partway through, which is the tech tree version of this plane. But it totally happened. I don't have pics, but it happened, trust me. But hey, this team you see here is definitely dead. So anyways, I figured this would be the perfect opportunity to use that new thumbnail comparison feature on YouTube to test if people click on the version of the thumbnail 23 kills more than they do the one with 16 kills.
Anyways, thanks for watching. Like and comment to feed the algorithm, and if you subscribe and ring the bell, you won't need to remember how to spell your pay next time you want to watch one of my videos.
And here's the link to Willy Walrus's parody of me if you want to watch it again.